Some people categorize the making of leaders in three ways. A, great people cause great events. B, movements make leaders. C, the confluence of unpredictable events creates leaders appropriate for the times. What about you? What was your path to leadership?
This is the thing that I think young people who often want, they ask me if I have a couple of hours to mentor them. And what they really want to know is, can you tell me how to get where you are and what the secret sauce is in doing that? And I remind people that I've been here 25 years. That's the first thing. People, and I say, you know, for 15 of those years, nobody knew who I was. That wasn't, there never was a plan that somebody could say, well, how do you get from here to there? That was never the plan. My leadership really was focused around an issue and trying to solve that issue and just staying focused on that issue. And by the way, I never thought that anyone would ever necessarily take any notice of this work, which is part of, when I'm still with some guys I went to school with from Bowdoin, and they work here with me now. And we'll get in the office, we still laugh. Can you imagine? Anybody ever thought anybody would care about this stuff? It's just hard for us to believe. So the first thing I think is that this was all around mission. We saw something that we cared passionately about. And we said that we're going to try and figure out how to solve this. And we were prepared to work on this until we died. And we thought it was important and it was worth doing. And no one thought you were going to make any money. No one thought there was any fame. And by the way, most of us didn't even think the people we were helping were necessarily even going to like us that much. It wasn't like people were going to applaud for you, you know, when you're doing tough stuff. That work, I think, this focus on can we solve this problem is, I think, in the end, how I would describe the leadership. Now, for us to get here, there had to be some opportunistic things that happened that we had to be prepared to take advantage of. That's absolutely true. And so when opportunities presented themselves, we tried to grab those opportunities to sort of leverage our work and move forward with that work. And I think we've been good about doing that. But if I had this program and no one knew anything about the program and no one knew who I was and no one even came to look, I would like to think that I would feel no different about this work than I do right now. It never was for any of those other kinds of things. I had a young person who I've known for many, I knew when she was a little girl, and she now is a teacher, and she's going for her master's degree, and we had lunch the other day. And I was just looking at her, remembering when she was 11, and her being so scared that she didn't have the right stuff, that she just wasn't going to make it. And she was talking about she was going on a trip to Africa, and she was going with a friend, and they were going to go on safari. And I was just looking at her thinking, this is what I was telling my wife, but my wife knows her also. And we just got the biggest kick out of knowing that, you know, that's the promise of this work. That after a while, you know, no one knows anything about that. She doesn't have to tell that story with her life, but she's having a good life. And, you know, for some number of kids, we've made a difference. So I think that if you're looking, there are some people who want to be leaders, right? And they want to take leadership development because they want to be leaders. And that's a path to leadership that I am somewhat doubtful about. And the reason I'm doubtful about it is that when we bring young people into the organization, they ask about leadership, we say the leader is usually the one who works the hardest, the one who works holidays, the one who works weekends. When we're doing something Christmas, they're the ones who work in Christmas, and they can do that year after year after year. People want to take my job. It's like, oh, I want to be the leader. I want to be in the room, in the office. And say, no. We don't think that's the way leadership. Leaders do what needs to be done, whatever it is, and they do it for as long as it needs to be done, and they can outwork everybody else, and they never lose touch with what the mission is. If the mission is, let's move the chairs and make this place, then that's what we do. And the moment that you think the leader tells everybody else what to do, we think you've lost sort of the essence of the kind of leadership that we're trying to do here. And if you look in my agency, there are people who come up through the agency, and one of the reasons I think we're able to do the work is that the leaders have learned a set of academic and professional skills while at the same time doing that in tough, long, hard service to their community. And I think the two of those things, so they are now the guardians of the gate. So if you want to be a leader, they're like, well, yeah, well, how many weekends did you work and how many years have you? And I just think that that's a different level of leadership because it's leadership that comes not only from hard work and study, but also from service. And you never forget who the client is. And the client is not you and your leadership skills or your, I think, a celebrity. The client really are those young people or those families or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So I think that's how we see leadership here in the organization.